Brittany Gosney and James Hamilton subjected their three children, ages 6, 7, and 9, to a harrowing reality that far surpassed simple parental neglect. Indifferent and emotionally absent, the couple routinely served microwaved Hot Pockets as dinner, failing even the most basic standards of caregiving. Their home was a toxic environment. James was prone to violent outbursts, while Brittany repeatedly avoided her parental responsibilities altogether. The grim situation escalated in March 2021 when the couple reported their 6-year-old son, James Jr., missing. From the outset, police sensed something was off. The parents' demeanor raised immediate red flags. Detectives quickly separated the two for questioning, and what emerged from the ensuing interrogation was profoundly disturbing.
Including you, we're here for the same reason, trying to get some idea, some clue, some even remote idea as to what happened with James is his name, right? So everyone, but whatever. But again, we have got to find this old fellow.
Oh, yes.
We have got to.
That's the best thing I want.
So let me start off. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Really,
the only thing I want.
Well, good. Now, how many kids total are there?
Three.
Let's start with the oldest one. Are these your children?
No, they're
okay.
Biological.
Okay, but you've been with Brittany for how long?
About 9 months now.
Okay, so they're coming up on being your kids, but just kind of take me. Let's start yesterday afternoon at about noon. Yesterday at about 12 o'clock. So all three of the kids, you and Brittany, were at home watching television.
Yes, sir. Now,
with that being said, I never made it in your house, so I may ask you a bunch of dumb questions, just like where things were. So where is the television?
When you first walked through the front door of the living room.
Kind of in the living room, watching TV. What were you guys watching? Do you remember?
Kids cartoons.
Okay.
I don't really pay attention.
Sure, I got you. But you guys have got, 3 cars?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had problems with people bothering your shit before?
When I first moved up here, I had a ATV stolen off.
Oh, did it?
I made a police report.
Right. Where were you living at then?
Over on Woodside.
Okay. What time did you guys eat dinner?
It was around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Did you guys go get something, or did Brittany or you make something?
Brittany cooked.
What did she make?
She made pizza rolls for the kids, and me and her just snacked on stuff.
Okay.
I ain't really having an appetite being sick.
Oh, I believe it. So that's about 6:30, you just said.
We put the kids to bed. Right. When they separated from me and Brittany. And then about 10:30, me and Brittany went to bed.
What's the next thing that you remember?
I got up around 3:45.
Okay.
And I went through the rooms, noticed the boy, James, was gone. I went down. I got looked in the front door. It was locked. I looked at the back side door. It's unlocked.
So both of them were locked?
No, it was unlocked.
Oh, unlocked. The back
side door was unlocked.
So at what point did you wake up the kids or Brittany to make sure they didn't know where little James was?
Well, it was around about 8:30 this morning. I woke back up with everybody, and we all went looking again, and then we couldn't find him nowhere. We came here.
Sure. What's your gut feeling of what you think happened to little James?
I don't know. I'm hoping he's somewhere there in the neighborhood hiding.
Does he have any friends that he hangs out with?
None I'm aware of.
Does he have any of the parks that he likes to go to?
Any parts. He's ready to swing, anything will be on it.
Okay. Well, like I said, I really appreciate you talking to me. And we're still trying to get to the bottom of all this, and obviously you and Brittany are our number one sources of information that's going to help us right now. But we got to find him. I'm sure you want him found as bad as we do.
I'd like to go as soon as possible before I go back out looking for him.
Sure. Well, you hold tight right here, and if you need something knocking on the door, I'm going to go check and see what else they can come up with, and maybe I got good news.
After a brief initial exchange, detectives turned their attention to Brittany, ready to hear her version of events. Interviewing the couple separately was a deliberate strategy. They needed to see if their stories aligned. Once both accounts were on record, investigators planned to compare them closely, looking for discrepancies that might reveal the truth. While there was always a chance the couple had coordinated their statements in advance, detectives were well aware of that possibility. To break through any rehearsed narratives, they employed a wide range of probing questions, carefully designed to expose inconsistencies and uncover what really happened.
Was the 6-year-old get in trouble last night?
Yeah, he got in trouble for something. I remember what it was.
You don't remember what it was? Okay. What was the punishment last night? Corner?
I don't really like putting my hands on my kids.
That's okay. That's fine. Some people don't. You guys, what'd you have for dinner last night?
They had pizza rolls and chips.
The kids did? Okay. They're telling me that James had gotten in trouble for something and that he wasn't given pizza rolls, but he was given bread instead because that was his punishment. You remember that?
No, we gave them like lunch meat sandwiches at lunchtime.
And then all three of them, you're saying, got pizza rolls last night? Why would the kids tell me that?
I don't never make them go without any meal.
I know that.
I'd rather go without before them.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out what they're talking about, what the kids are talking about. Basically, I'm waiting for my guy to come here. He's going to do the polygraph for me, and we'll just kind of go from there. I got guys out canvassing the neighborhood, so we're actively looking for James.
Okay.
Little James is what I call him now because we got Big James in there.
It's confusing, I understand.
So we're looking for James now. Don't think we're just sitting here talking to you. I got a bunch of people out doing that.
I was going to say, is anybody even out there looking for him?
Yes, 100%.
Because I'm sure brother and sisters worry about their little brother.
Right. Your daughter also said sometimes Big James doesn't get along with Little James. What would she mean by that?
I have no idea.
Does Little James get any more or less trouble than the other two?
They all get about the same.
They're all close to the same age. They all, okay. So
I know James does like being mean to them, so taking their toy away.
All Little James.
Yes, not
okay.
that.
I got you.
How about I just say my son?
Yeah, that'll work. All right.
The detective quickly sensed that something was off. James's demeanor didn't reflect the panic or grief expected from a parent whose child had just gone missing. Trusting his instincts, yet knowing that securing a confession was crucial, the detective decided to return to James for further questioning.
No, well, you've been here a little while, and you said whenever we walked in the door that we all wanted the same thing, and that's just find little James. I basically don't. I've got other officers out doing a bunch of stuff. I've got other officers that are out checking vacant buildings. They're out pulling videos from surveillance cameras that are in the neighborhood around there, and it's kind of like, I really don't have anything else to do right now other than to go back, kind of retrace steps, go over things again.
I'm starting to get hungry. I'd like to go home.
Hey, James.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you out there at your house.
Yes, sir.
For a few minutes. I just talked to my girlfriend there, and I'm terrible with names. What's her name? Brittany. All right, now she's told me most of the truth, okay? She's saying she don't remember where he's at, but she's told me about he's dead, okay? And that you guys were together, okay?
What do you want to know, sir?
I need to know where the body's at.
That I do not know. As for me being with her and the kids, no, sir, I
we can talk about that later.
Got home.
We can talk about if you were there or not later, okay? She's saying all five of you were together, and this is what happened, okay? I'm not going to go into details what she told me there, okay? So at this point...
Well, what did she tell you that happened, sir?
Well, I know that he's dead, and I know that his body's somewhere, and I need to figure out... I'm wanting right now to recover his body is really important to me because it gives closure to both of you guys. Okay, that's the most important thing. We can go into detail later that when it's happened. Okay, because surely she's smart enough to tell you, even if you weren't with her, okay, you got to take some ownership of this, okay? Don't minimize anything.
The ownership I would take of it is where I didn't call when she brought the body home, sir.
Okay. Where is the body then? When she brought the body home, what did she say she did with it?
She didn't tell me, sir. It happened up at Rush Run Park is where it happened at.
It happened in Rush Run?
Yes, she was supposed to take the kids up there, give them a scare tactic.
Right.
Drop them off for a few minutes, turn around and go get them. Because they all was acting up real bad.
Right.
The detective took a calculated risk, and it seemed to pay off. Given the chance to speak, James began to open up and share his version of events. According to him, Brittany had resorted to a terrifying tactic in an attempt to discipline their three misbehaving children. She drove them to a remote area outside of town, aiming to scare them into better behavior by threatening to leave them behind. Tragically, during this ordeal, young James Jr. stumbled and was injured, with the wounds proving fatal. Realizing the severity of what had happened, Brittany returned home with his lifeless body.
It's an accident.
But now, so when she brought the body back to the house.
She brought the body back to the house.
And what's the conversation then?
Conversation.
I'd have been freaking out.
I was. I
Okay.
told her. I mean, she called me.
So, did she leave? You're saying she brought the body back home, though?
Yes.
Okay. Where was the body at when you saw it?
Upstairs in his bedroom.
In his bedroom. And when was all this? A couple days ago? Yesterday, today?
Friday night.
It was Friday night. So we're into Sunday now. We were Sunday morning. And how did you guys come up with the idea of, well, we're going to have to report him missing at some point, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That was her idea, sir.
Okay. So, understand that. So she brings the body home. Is it in the bedroom? And then what happens? Even if you yourself went out totally by yourself and got rid of it, I just need to know where. If you're not,
You're still helping your wife.
I don't know exactly where it was, sir.
Okay. Were you with her when the body was dumped?
Yes.
Okay. If we went out driving, did you take it back up to Rush Run?
We wasn't up the Rush Run, man. He's off the bridge. He's in the river.
Okay. What bridge? Middletown Bridge?
No. Cincinnati.
Down in Cincinnati?
Well, it's the bridge that goes from Kentucky to Indiana.
Okay. How did you what time of day or night is this?
This was about 3 o'clock this morning.
This morning? Okay. What did you do with the other two kids go with you then?
No, they was at home in bed asleep.
All right, so both of you guys get up. We got to do something. And then take him down to Cincinnati off 71, you're thinking?
275, yeah.
Okay, and just throw him off the bridge, or did you?
Hold him off the bridge.
Was it like a stream, or was it the actual river?
The actual river.
The Ohio River, the big one.
Yes.
All right, but you're doing good. I know this is hard on you. All right, look at me. I know this is hard on you.
Now I'm going to jail just for helping her.
Okay, we can figure it
fair
out.
to me, man.
Okay, listen,
This ain't fair to me.
it ain't fair to the little boy either. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I told her that. I mean, when she called me and told me she's at the wrong place, I told her, fucking turn around, come home. Turn around, come home.
At the wrong place. You mean a Rush Run?
At Rush Run.
Okay.
What was her plan then? Because he didn't accidentally fall.
I don't know, sir. I mean, the story she told me when she came home, 1 minute it was he had the handle door, and she took off, and he fell.
On the car? On the van?
On my van.
Okay.
Then the next minute it was that he was chasing after her, tripped and fell.
So she told you a couple different stories.
Yes.
Armed with the crucial details from their conversation with James, the detectives now had the leverage they needed. With this new information in hand, they returned to Brittany for a second round of questioning, prepared to confront her with the truth and unravel the rest of the story.
We're just trying to figure out, just hold on, exactly what you were thinking, why, because from what you've said, and please correct me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
James told you, I want the kids gone, I don't want to see them no more.
Yes.
When you loaded up in the car with the kids, you left Crawford Street with all three kids.
Yes.
James was in that house.
Yes.
He wanted you to take them somewhere and never bring them back.
Yes.
Okay. So you're confused. You care about James.
And I also.
You care about James, right?
Yes.
So you take off driving.
Yes.
So you get to Rush Run, and did you tell them, hey, hop out and pee, or did they?
Well, they said, at first they said I have to pee. I said, okay, well, go ahead and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you got out, and you went in through the side door.
The side back door, yes.
Right, and you lifted him out.
Yes.
Set him on the ground.
Yes. I didn't throw him or anything. I just set him down.
Sure. Nobody's saying you did. So once he's on the ground, what happens then?
I went to go pull off.
Where was James whenever you backed up and pulled out? Little James.
Well, I wasn't all the way into the parking spot. I was just like halfway there, not all the way there. When I went to go pull away, I'm guessing he had the handle.
Right.
And had a handle. When I looked, he didn't have it. And then he went to, I heard kids screaming. I don't remember. I thought it was for sure Rachel, but they both, I don't know.
Why were they screaming? Because you were leaving them?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they knew I wasn't never just going.
Sure.
So, they were standing by the bathroom stall, whatever it is, and James was kind of standing close to them, but not that close.
Sure.
And as I showed you on the paper, I just went around him and didn't realize he had the handle.
Did you see him grabbing a handle?
No.
Okay, you're just.
But when I kind of like, I'm assuming he grabbed the handle because I kind of pulled him a little bit, not much, and he got up and then fell back down. I guess I kind of probably made him hurt his knee on the ground or something, and he lost his balance, and he tried to catch his balance. He didn't get to, and he fell and busted his head on the ground.
So when you got back home with James, you come back with the kids. How do you bring James? Do you just carry James into the house, or does James go out and get him?
I carried him in.
Okay.
Where are the clothes at that you were wearing when you carried him in?
Sitting on top of a laundry basket.
Are they dirty?
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
So you carry the boy back inside. Have you already contacted James and told him what happened? Okay, by text or by call?
It was a text.
You sent him a text?
Yes, and then he called me, told me to bring him back because he couldn't get James to listen.
So you bring the kid back, you carry the kid in, and then what happens? Where do you put the kid? Where do you put James?
I just laid him on the when you walk in the door, that room right there, on the floor.
The front, when you walk in the front living room?
Yes, the front room.
So the living room
or
and
the couch is, yes.
You laid him?
I laid him on the floor.
Okay.
The bare floor. And he took him upstairs.
James took him upstairs.
And put him in the bedroom.
We're going to give you a few minute break, and then we'll be right back.
Do you need anything? You need another restroom? You need anything?
I wish I had an anxiety med.
The detective carefully pressed for every possible detail, having both Brittany and James recount their story multiple times in search of inconsistencies. By scrutinizing their responses, he aimed to expose any cracks in their version of events. Although the detectives had gathered enough evidence to raise serious concerns, the couple was released for the time being, with plans already in place to bring them back in for further questioning the next day.
kind of where we are right now is we talked for a while yesterday, and I'm sure you were kind of jacked up and excited, which is totally understandable. And I think you were mostly honest with us yesterday.
I was 100% honest with you.
So, where we're at right now is Brittany has given a lot of information that makes sense. We've been able to corroborate some of it. There were a few things in particular that I wanted to ask you about. Right now we're at the point where we're kind of missing some pieces. You've already kind of explained a lot of your involvement, so the missing pieces are quasi-irrelevant. They're not super important, but I need these pieces just to tie everything together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we're into Wednesdays. If any of them get in trouble, any of them fight with each other, any of them fall down the stairs.
Pretty much in trouble, sir.
Right.
They always was lying to us. Everyone.
About what?
Everything. I mean, we asked them one little simple question, and no, I didn't do that, and we know they did. And they just, I mean, everything.
It's kind of all three of them, a continual behavioral problem.
Yes.
At what point did the kids really start being an issue?
Well, one minute they'd be an issue, we punish them, put them in a corner. I mean, we tried mass things with these kids, make them hang goods in their hands, tippy toes, fingertips on the walls. Nothing was working with them. Nothing at all. Me and her started getting into real hot and heavy over it. I told her, I said, I can't be putting up with this. I said, I just left this same relationship because of the same issues.
Sure.
About 2 months ago. Yes.
And
then I kept arguing with her.
That's when everything really started jumping.
I kept telling her, I said, either you need to find somewhere to go with you and your disrespectful kids.
Right.
Or I'm leaving. Well, I guess she got tired that night when me and her got into it. She went up there, took them, kept telling me she's going to take them and drop them off. I said, I don't care what you do with them.
Right.
I said, you go ahead and take my bag, do whatever you want with them.
Sure.
I mean, I wasn't refusing her a vehicle to where she could take them to her sisters or moms. I mean, something. And next thing I know, I get that text from her.
And what the text said?
On my way back, he's dead. I mean, she told me she was taking them up to Rush Run and dropping them off. Me and her done it twice before as a scare tactic.
Had taken them up to Rush Run?
We dropped them off right there by the bathroom. I drive out by the exit there, turn around right back in.
Right.
Well, they learned something. They'd be all right for 2 or 3 days and then act it right back up.
How long would you guys normally leave them there?
Just long enough to drive right out to the road, turn around right back in.
So maybe 10 minutes, maybe.
Not even that. I mean, 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. So, when she left with them, it was your understanding that she was not bringing them back. She was going to drop them off somewhere.
I didn't know exactly where she was dropping them off. I mean, she said that she was taking them to Rush Run.
But she told you that when she left?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought she was just going to, like I said, we did a couple other times, turn around and pick them up. And I was thinking about calling the police on her. I told her that, and she started crying, begging me not to.
Right.
I mean, I love her. I care about her. So I did. I mean, I fucked up.
Yeah, I get it.
I fucked up.
So you told her to go back and get him?
Yeah.
And she did?
Yes.
And again,
and I also told her, I said, you should have called the police when it happened. I said, at least then it would have been an accident.
James told detectives that on the night of the incident, Brittany had taken the children out, allegedly to scare them, a tactic they had reportedly used before. He claimed she texted him saying she was on her way back, and he assumed she was simply dropping the kids off at a restaurant. Now focused on determining James's level of involvement, the detectives pressed for more details. James insisted he didn't know the exact location Brittany had taken the children, reiterating that he believed it was just another temporary scare. He admitted he considered calling the police, but ultimately didn't, swayed, he said, by Brittany's desperate pleas to stay quiet. When she returned home without the children, James claimed he urged her to report the incident to the authorities. With a possible motive now emerging, and both parents under scrutiny, detectives prepared for a deeper round of interrogation, determined to test the consistency of their accounts and finally uncover the full truth.
So what's your gut? Do you think it was an accident? How did she explain?
She told me 2 or 3 different stories about it. I mean, like I told you yesterday, one minute she told me he had to hold up the handle of the van, one minute he didn't.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, he had to hold up the handle of the van.
Mm-hmm.
Did you run him over? No. I swear to God, I didn't run him over. I asked the other 2 kids because they were supposed to have seen it all. They said no, she did not run him over.
Right. So how did James get moved from the car to the house?
She did.
Okay. So when she brought him in, where did she put him?
Laid him in the living room floor right there as soon as she walked in. She took off her coat, hung it up, sat down beside him.
Which coat was she wearing?
That pink one. Corners though.
So he was laying in the living room floor. And did he stay there until he was taken elsewhere?
No, I got tired of him laying there myself. I carried him up, stuck him in the front bedroom upstairs.
Okay. The front bedroom. Was that the little one?
No.
Which bedroom was that?
You go straight up the steps and straight in.
Okay. And what, did you lay him on a mattress or on a blanket, on a rug?
I just laid him on the floor.
Flat on the floor.
I was trying to get her to go ahead and call the police there.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to. She was worried about going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't never been in jail a day in her life at that.
Mm-hmm.
I have been.
Sure.
Told her, if anything, I can't see you go to jail and be without your babies. And that.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I said, I'll step up to the plate and take the fall for everything.
Right.
About halfway across the bridge, stopped. Put it in park. She grabbed his feet. I grabbed his shoulders and threw him.
Mm-hmm. You guys pull up. You guys see a car and you pull over right before the bridge. Or 100 yards before the bridge.
About 100 yards.
Right around there. You wait, you go by. As soon as that happens, you guys pull up and you just, I mean, there's really not much room there.
She jumps out.
Okay.
I didn't even open my driver's door. I just climbed around. She opened the side slider door, grabbed his feet. I grabbed his shoulders. Nothing I'm aware of, sir. I mean, as soon as we let go, I jumped right back in the van. When we got going some, she looked at me and said, I heard him hit, and kind of giggled about it even.
Right. So, did you see him, did he float? Did you see him floating?
I don't know. I had no idea. She got straight back in the van and we took off.
No, and again, that's kind of where we are. You're worried entirely too much about what she said.
No,
listen. I want the whole truth too. That's why you know the whole truth. You're sitting here fishing me to see what I know, and I've been fished by the best of them, and I'm not going to be a dick about it. Okay? I've got a lot of info here.
She wanted something to help hold him down in the water. There was a brick tied to his chest.
There's a brick tied to him?
Yes.
What kind of brick?
About this long, about that thick.
Like a cinder block brick, or like what kind of brick?
Something like a center block brick. It's more like a yard walking stone brick. I mean, it's about this long, like that was said.
Right. Where'd you get the brick? You go out of the back of your yard and you go to the right down the alley or to the left down the alley?
To the right.
So you went to the right. Did you go to the cross alley or did you go on? So you go to the cross alley and you make a left.
Yeah.
So you see, this is how this works. I know a load of information about this. A lot of it's been confirmed, and I've ruled out some of it. Well, some of it that you told us initially. Now, with that being said, I'm not holding that against you because you're a little bit freaked out. But here's where we are. Right now is going to be one of your only opportunities to genuinely show me that you're going to cooperate. This is good. This is good because I knew all this.
James's account took a chilling turn as he described what happened after Brittany returned home with her son's lifeless body. She carried little James into the house and placed him on the living room floor. After some time, James admitted he could no longer bear the sight and moved the boy's body upstairs to a front bedroom. The story grew even more disturbing as James detailed how they ultimately disposed of the child's remains. He and Brittany drove to a nearby bridge. Once halfway across, they stopped the car. Brittany grabbed little James's feet, James took his shoulders, and together they threw him into the river. Sensing that James was withholding the full truth, the detective confronted him, suggesting he knew more than James had shared. Pressed further, James admitted that they had tied a brick to the boy's body to ensure it stayed submerged. Employing a calculated bluff, the detective told James that the cold water would preserve evidence, prompting him to divulge even more of the grim details.
So I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask you a very, very big question that and regardless of what you think you know about forensics, I don't know everything about forensics, but I've been told by several forensic people that we've got quite a long time that we can still find him due to water conditions and still be able to determine how he died. I'll say it like that. And that water is kind of deep right there, so it's going to be even colder. So basically, he's going to be pretty much preserved, and we're going to find him if, in fact, that's where you guys put him. That's why it's very important that you're totally honest. Because the story about when, where, and why, okay, you dropped him off on your first trip over that bridge.
No, second.
Third.
I'm sorry, because I went up, I turned around, came back across it. Mm-hmm. We got off at Orangeburg there, turned around, and came back on.
Okay,
and that's
so
when I pulled over, stopped, and waited.
So, right. Well, and you see, this is making it a lot easier. And I can already tell your shoulders have dropped a little bit. Dude, I know a lot of this stuff. You know, you drove instead of riding the shotgun. That doesn't change any of this. You were still there with her during this. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, don't look ahead. Don't read into what I'm asking you. The charges, it's already happened, whatever you guys did. It's just a matter of figuring out exactly when and where. Hold on. Hey. And just keep it, it's a matter of figuring out exactly who, what, and where did what. So with that being said, you suggest to Brittany that if the kids weren't here, if you took the kids out and left them to run and let whatever happened to them happen to them, you didn't make her do that.
No, sir. I never held no knife to her, never, nothing like that.
So just because you make a suggestion, if I walk out here and tell somebody in the street, hey, I think you ought to go rob that bank, and they go do it, is that on me? If they're not,
I don't really know how that would work by law, sir.
Well, it's not. See, the thing I'm getting at here is I think you're trying, for the most part, to be on her. That if you said that to her, but she did it on her own and you stayed at home and you didn't have any part in her leaving the kids out there, and like I'm saying, leaving them supposedly permanently, okay? That, you're still at home. You weren't in the car when that happened, were you?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I loved them kids like that. It was my own. I was trying to give them what was best for them.
Right. Okay. Hold tight. Hold tight. I'll be right back. So, you tell me right now, what was the plan when she left Crawford Street that once she got out there, you got cold feet about? Supposedly told her to come back. What did she tell you she was going to do with those 3 kids when she left Crawford?
One of the things she told me she was going to do with them was drop them off, sir, and I swear to God on that.
What'd she tell you? How did James get killed?
I never got a straight out story.
No. Eventually, there's no way in hell that she didn't tell you, okay, trying to help you out with. Okay, I can't.
She did this. You didn't.
I mean, I'm telling you everything.
All I want to know is what she told you she was going to do with them kids. That's it. Because it doesn't make sense.
All she told me she was going to do with them kids was...
The detectives continued pressing James, determined to get him to admit that he knew what Brittany intended before she left the house that night. If they could prove he was aware of her plan and chose not to intervene, it would significantly increase his culpability. But despite their persistence, James held firm to his story, insisting he believed Brittany was simply taking the children out as part of their usual scare tactic, and that he had no knowledge of any harmful intent. Frustrated by his refusal to budge and sensing they had reached a standstill, the detectives decided to shift their focus. With fresh angles to pursue and more pressure to apply, they returned to Brittany, hoping she might be the one to finally unravel the full truth.
I would assume under.
Okay, I need a shower. Like, you can see, I'm breaking out everywhere.
I'll ask him. I'll go back there and talk to him as soon as I drop you back off. I got a question for you, though. Are you willing to talk to me about what happened?
Yeah.
First off, I need to know why you guys are down in Richmond, Indiana, at Walmart.
I didn't go to any Walmart.
You did not go to any Walmart?
No, that's why I'm looking at you like, what are you talking about?
Did he take the kids and go to Walmart?
He might have. I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. He does some stuff when I'm sleeping. So how am I supposed to know anything?
Well, I mean, you're not sleeping 24/7.
My meds would let me. I'd be sleeping 24/7.
All right. Is he really where you said you dumped him?
My son?
Yes.
Yes. That's where he dumped him.
Okay, but you were with him.
Yes.
Okay.
That is where.
That is where you guys went to do it.
Yes.
That's legit.
And yes, he said to make sure we dumped him on that side because of the currency or something goes this way. I don't know nothing about the water.
Right. So it doesn't matter.
Even though it was an accidental.
I think it was, but you went there to dispose of your kid, to leave your kids out there is what you went to do, huh?
I went to go there to drop them off, not to harm them or anything.
Okay, but you're still abandoning your children. Okay.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. Well, either way, what I'm trying to get at is, I still don't think you're being totally honest with me about how he died. To be quite frank with you. Okay. For some reason, you're minimizing the fact that you drug him. Okay.
When he asked me, I didn't.
Was there any other means used to harm your child by you or by your boyfriend?
Okay, you gotta explain better than that, cause.
Okay. So if you tell me the truth and say, hey, no, this is really what happened, this is how, then I just want to know the truth of the matter. Because when we recover him, an autopsy is going to show.
And we're going to recover him. This ain't out yet, but they found him on sonar. They think they found him in sonar.
You know what sonar is?
Sonar is like an X-ray for the water. So, this is the issue with you. You're right. We're right in the middle of a conversation. Now, you can't hold a thought to carry on a conversation because you're all over the place. And honestly, I think it's because you're full of shit and you don't want to just talk and have a conversation about what the subject matter is. Was he alive when you went to the park? Your youngest baby
He wasn't responding when he got out of the van.
Where at?
Remember when I told you when we got there, he wasn't.
When you got
So he was already dead before you got there? Yes or no?
Yeah, he had to, bitch, because he wasn't.
Okay, then how did he die?
Whatever James did to him upstairs.
Okay, you need to tell me that. What did James do?
The kid, all three
Kids. You can ask all three of them.
Because I know he hog-tied them.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he was beating them.
Why didn't you call us?
He wouldn't let me have a phone.
Okay, so he's dead before you even take him out of the house. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't know it.
Who loads him up in the car? So he didn't walk to the car.
The kids, like, basically helped him to the car.
Helped who?
The other two kids helped James to the car.
Your two other kids carried dead James to the car.
He, like...
Okay, you're fucking lying.
No, am I not making this sense?
No, not at all.
Can you please stop yelling at me?
Brittany was questioned again about the night's events, this time denying she had been at Walmart. When pressed about her son, she claimed she believed James had dumped him on a particular side of the river, citing the current as the reason. The detective challenged her, suggesting it seemed clear she had gone there to dispose of the child. Brittany insisted her intention had been to drop him off safely, not to harm him, but the detective countered that, regardless, she was still abandoning her children. The detective expressed doubts about her honesty, but Brittany continued to insist it was all an accident. He reminded her that the charges would be severe no matter what, urging her to tell the truth and stressing how crucial her honesty was for the autopsy and the investigation. As the interrogation wore on, Brittany struggled to maintain a consistent story. The detective pointed out her contradictions and evasiveness, suggesting that her unwillingness to be straightforward indicated she wasn't telling the whole truth. He emphasized how important it was to uncover the full story. Suddenly, Brittany shifted her account, claiming her son was already dead in the van on the way to drop off the other children. She accused James of killing their child in a fit of rage. When asked why she hadn't called the police, she said James had taken her phone. Overcome with emotion, Brittany began to cry. The detective pressed further, clarifying the timeline to confirm the child had died before they left the house. Brittany gave conflicting statements, at first saying the other children helped carry the boy to the car, then admitting she had lied about that. Frustrated, she asked the detectives if anything she was saying made sense, revealing her confusion and distress.
Tell me and tell us that your two other babies carried youngest one to the car.
Oh, God.
So then you really didn't drag James?
No, that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. I didn't do anything to that little boy.
You did, yeah, you did. You didn't help him, number one. Okay? You're a grown-ass adult. That's a little baby.
Yeah.
How many times, what are they going to say about you hitting on him?
I'm not really hitting on them at all. I make them stand in the
What are they going to say about you hitting on them that night with James upstairs?
They're probably just going to say I whipped their butt. That's about it. Like you said, you do your children.
Right.
But I don't punch them, leave bruises, nothing. That's all James.
And then what?
And then I told him, well, I'm about to go up there on time because the kids don't deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, if you do, I'm going to shoot your ass.
Okay. Tell the kids he wants me to get rid of you guys.
Yeah, exactly what I told him.
And then what?
It took me like 10 minutes to make sure they were all downstairs from getting changed and whatever they had to do upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So once they all got downstairs, I took them out to the van.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure they buckled up.
What did James say to all this? He's telling you something specific, I would assume. What's the conversation between you and James? How does he want you to get rid of him?
He just told me to take him to the rush run. He just said rush run.
And do what?
He just told me to take him there and drop him off.
Okay.
So I took him there and dropped him off.
Okay. So now you're up at rush run. Okay, just you and the 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happens?
I told the kids to get out.
Okay.
And then that's when James didn't want to get out, or he didn't even answer me.
So the two kids get out.
Yes.
Okay.
James would not answer me for nothing.
Okay.
And I was back there kind of like shaking his arm, trying to get him to talk to me, and he wouldn't say anything.
Okay. Sitting there. At what point do you drive off? I'm about to lose my temper, and I'm trying not to. I'm going to take a break.
Do you want to talk to me or no? You probably don't, because you're not going to tell me the truth. You've sat back there in that jail, and you've tried to come up with some excuse for the, hold on, let me move over here. I'm too close to you. Because you've sat back there in that, just listen, okay? You've sat back there in that jail, and you've tried to come up with some reason to justify you not getting charged with murder. Here's where we are, okay? There's no doubt in my mind you took those kids out there to leave them
Out there.
You took them out there hoping no one would ever see them, find them, or you would never see them or hear from them again. Is that a safe assumption?
Yes.
Brittany was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 21 years, while James received a sentence of up to 19 years for his involvement in the crime. If you want to learn about more cases like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.